And we need to end the conflict. We need to silence the guns. And we need to make sure that the exploitation of African countries...
Greetings, lovely people. Thank you for choosing our channel today. As Africans, it is necessary to know what is happening in the African Union and the Pan-African Parliament. Today, we are going to dive deep into critical issues confronting the African Union. It appeared that the same reason why the African Union dismissed Dr. Arikana, or let me say, the same reason why she was sacked from her position as the African Union's permanent representative to the United States in October 2019 seems to resurface. This time, the African Union appeared to be facing a similar situation, not with one person, but with multiple young activists emerging from the Pan-African Parliament. Just like Dr. Arikana, individuals with strong personalities and bold visions are emerging in the face of the African Union. Before we get into that aspect, if you critically analyze the circumstances surrounding Dr. Arikana's dismissal, it becomes clear that the African Union is not truly committed to serving Africa's interests, because Dr. Arikana will know only speak and advocate for the well-being and sovereignty of Africa continent. After sacking her, we are now witnessing the rise of even more formidable personalities who are addressing far more critical issues that the African Union has long ignored. The rise of these unapologetic activists in the Pan-African Parliament, these young activists are boldly raising conversations that the African Union seems unprepared to handle. Conversations that are gaining momentum every day. The truth is, Dr. Arikana was sacked to silence the true voice of Africa and to set as an example for other activists who might dare to take similar stand. However, there are some activists today who are fearlessly amplifying the voice of Africa and challenging the status quo. And I'm going to play some short clip of how these guys are challenging the African Union and confronting them head on. So stay tuned as I will introduce you to three of these individuals or passionate individuals who are shaking the tables of the old guard within the African Union, and together we will analyze critical issues raised by these determined, visionary and unapologetic individuals committed to the cause of Africa. But I would love to put you in the right context and the right perspective. The dispute is happening between the African Union and the Pan-African Parliament. Many people watch these videos of activists confronting African Union and they don't know where they are emerging from. And a lot of people don't know the difference between the Pan-African Parliament and the African Union. And I think it is necessary for all of us to know where these thought-provoking conversations are emerging from. The African Union, AU, and the Pan-African Parliament, the PAP, are both fundamental institutions of Africa's political framework, but they both have distinct rules, mandates, and structures. The African Union was established in 2001, replacing the Organization of African Unity, OAU, while the Pan-African Parliament, PAP, was created in 2004 as one of the organs of the AU. This Pan-African Parliament was created as part of the vision of promoting participation and accountability in the governance of Africa. Their nature and purpose are a little bit different. The African Union is a continental organization comprising all the 55 African countries. Some people debate that it is 54, whatever it is, but this is it. So the African Union serves as the overcharging body coordinating various policies and initiatives across member states. On the other hand, the Pan-African Parliament is a legislative arm of the AU. Its primary purpose is to provide a platform for African citizens and their elected representatives representing from every country to participate in decision making and promote good governance, democracy, accountability across the continent. The Pan-African Parliament acts as a consultative and advisory body within the AU. So in short, for everybody to understand quickly, the Pan-African Parliament monitors the implementation of AU's policies and advocate for unity and democracy. So these activists that you are going to see confronting the African Union, they are speaking from the Pan-African Parliament. Lovely people, if you are enjoying our update or our content, kindly support us by liking and also subscribing to be part of the family. So let's do it quickly by listening to the three activists, and after that we pass our comment on the issues that they have raised.
Honorable Speaker, we are here speaking in a language that we do not own. And we've been talking about it for a long time. In fact, we've been segregated by Francophone, Anglophone, Arabophone, Lusophone, everything for something we do not own. How can we promote Pan-Africanism if the language that we speak in this parliament or at the level of the AU does not even belong to us? Do you expect Pan-Africanism to be promoted? No. We must develop our own language. And I've said this since 2017. Let's develop our own language and nurture that in our curriculum, in our schools. And in the next 10, 15 years, anywhere you go, Eswatini, Kenya, Gambia, Burundi, you speak the language, somebody's going to talk to you. Not this English language, not this French language, that doesn't do anything else but to divide this continent. We must think twice, and we must take a look at our strategies as a union. I am not surprised by the decline. Because Africa is a very young population. But we must instill that Pan-Africanism in us. We must instill that mentality in us. And that's going to change our thinking. We must think Africa. And unless and until we do that, promote our culture, stop this language that divides us, we will not go anywhere. And I'm glad that the chairman actually has mentioned that. And personally, I'm not even surprised. We must do better for the African population. Honorable Speaker, to talk about the financial aspect of it, I mean, it's quite evident. We here as members of parliament, we are the one that approve budgets in our countries. We are the one that approve monies that goes to the AU. We are the one that approve budgets to do all development in our own countries. But at the end of the year, financial year, the parliament is giving an audit. How have you used that money? I've been here for 7 good years, Honorable Speaker, as a member of this parliament. I've never seen the AU audits. I've never seen that. Here. Even the budget of the African Union that we actually fund, we have not seen. So how do you expect us as members of parliament to help promote participation by the African people to ensure that we contribute? Yes, how can you expect us as members of parliament to help promote the funding of the AU when money is given, we do not know when the money is spent. We do not know where is it. Where is it? I mean, we must be factual here, and we must be truthful. Tell us where the money is going, and we will go back to our own countries and tell them to pay for the AU, because the AU is meant for the African population. But if you do not know where the money is going, it will be very difficult, doctor, to tell my country, the Gambia, to contribute. Because I wanted to know exactly what's happening. But how about other countries? If you want them to pay, please bring an audited report of the AU in the parliament here. We will debate it. Bring the budget of the AU. We will debate it. We know exactly where the African money is going.
Mr. President, for giving me this opportunity to contribute. I would like to say that the vision of having the African Union and the Pan-African Parliament were very good. But they were founded on certain principles, and they were founded with a vision. The vision has still been misunderstood, and I think we're actually pitted against each other rather than working together. I believe that one African country being wealthy is not enough for the entire continent. We need all the 54 countries to be actually able to build on their wealth, build on their resources, and we need to end the conflict. We need to silence the guns, and we need to make sure that the exploitation of African countries by our colonizers needs to end. So we need to take certain decisions for Africa by Africans, not being influenced by the West, because we're still dependent on them, on donors. Real independence will come when the African Union is fully funded by the African continent. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Excellency, for giving me the floor. I'm just going to comment briefly on the 2 points, namely the decline of Pan-Africanism. I believe that the revival of Pan-Africanism is very important even for us as an African continent to talk of funding ourselves. If we don't have that spirit, we keep on banging to the others, although our continent is very rich. Africa as a continent is very, very rich, but its people is poor. Some countries, they manage to have those resources, mines, diamond, but because of mismanagement, the poor become poor. And the outsiders, they are happy with this. We go and study America, where. But our minds are not free.
Now, watch something. The last two activists, their messages are very simple. But in regards to the first activist, the point he made about adoption of African language. So let me tell you why I agree with him in this angle. To me, this is the most thought-provoking conversation because adoption of the African language as the primary mode of communication within the African Union will hold significant cultural, political, and developmental importance. Number one, it is going to promote African identity and unity. Using a common African language promote a sense of cultural pride and identity. Number two, it is going to help us decolonize our mind. It is going to encourage Africans to embrace their history, values, and perspectives, promoting a mindset of self-reliance. We can see practical examples from other regions. Other regions such as Asia have successfully utilized native languages to drive unity and development. This particular model could inspire the AU to adopt a similar approach, but no, the old men are not ready for that conversation. So lovely people, this is where I agree with my brother. I don't know about you, you might have a different thought, but let me have your thought in the comment, and don't forget to like the video and also subscribe to stay connected. Respect.